Hello, I'm Amelia Broun. You're watching Seven's Afternoon News live from Perth. Coming up, a shark attack at a popular WA holiday spot. Live details. The fight to prise open WA's hard border erupts into a fiery war of words. More than 600 new cases hit Victoria as 8 more people lose their battle with the virus. The extreme steps to contain the wave, as it's revealed 1 in 4 infected people are flouting stay-home orders. US President Donald Trump's plan to delay the election, why it's drawn widespread criticism. And an Australian vaccine showing promise enters the next phase. We begin with breaking news. There's been a shark attack near Bunker Bay. Rob Scott, a young surfer, has been bitten and is on his way to hospital.
Yes, that's right, Amelia. A man in his 20s. He's been bitten to one of his legs, but reports from the scene early suggest that that injury is not life-threatening, which is pretty incredible when you take a look at the damage that has been done to his board. This attack happened around 2:30 this afternoon at a break known as The Farm at Bunker Bay. Reports from the scene say it was a great white and a big one. Witnesses believe it was around 5 metres in length. The injured man was in the water with several other surfers at the time who paddled straight for him after he was bitten and helped him to shore. He was then taken from the beach into ambulances. From there, he was put in the chopper and flown to Bunbury Hospital. The area where this attack happened was the scene of a fatal attack in 2011. Kyle Burden was mauled by a great white at nearby surf break the Boneyards while he was bodyboarding. Now, we're keeping across this story and we'll bring you any developments as and when we get them. Amelia?
Rob, thank you. The battle to tear down Fortress WA is ramping up. The Prime Minister is tipping Clive Palmer to win his federal court challenge against the state government. If he wins, our hard border closure would be scrapped. El Giorgio is following the latest developments.
Clive Palmer says Fortress WA is unconstitutional, and now it appears the federal government agrees with him. It's revealed it lodged a formal notice of intervention last month supporting the billionaire miner's claim to prise open our hard border. Mark McGowan disagrees, defiant the Premier wants to keep WA cut off from the rest of the country to reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19. Today declaring Palmer the enemy of the state and Australia.
I'm happy to have a blue with Mr Palmer. He's the enemy of West Australia, he's the enemy of the state, I think he's the enemy of Australia. I just urge the Commonwealth to pull out of the High Court action. There's no need for them to be involved. I mean, we're in a pandemic. Constitutional niceties, I think, should go out the window.
Clive Palmer says WA's hard border shutdown is financially ruining millions of Australians, including himself. He wants in to visit his iron ore project in the Pilbara, a mineral that he exports to China.
I'd call upon the Western Australian Government to maintain border closures in relation to hotspots in Australia, but not to lie to the Western Australian people about threats that don't exist. I can tell you from experience, politicians will do anything they can to win an election. It's not past them to lie to the people. But serious consequences for Australians when they start lying about health, when they say they're acting on medical advice and they're not. They're trying to boost their popularity ratings.
The federal government is now backing the billionaire mining magnate. Attorney General Christian Porter suggesting the Premier's tough stance on the border lockdown could indeed be unconstitutional. The suggestion that softening his stance could improve WA's chances of winning in the federal court.
What is constitutional and what is popular is not the same thing. So we are trying to act in the best interests of West Australians and all Australians by having protected borders which are also constitutionally sustainable.
Clive Palmer is certainly stepping up his campaign to prise WA's hard border lockdown open. So what does the West Australian newspaper have to do with it? More details on that in 7 News at 6 tonight.
The nation's focus, however, remains on Victoria. More than 600 new cases, another 8 deaths, and a shocking revelation that 1 in 4 infected Victorians are defying orders to stay at home. Aged care facilities remain the biggest concern. Jackie Felgate reports from Melbourne.
After a week of staggering statistics, yet another shock.
1 in 4 people cannot be found at home. More than 100 cases have been referred to Victoria Police.
More than 1,000 people with COVID-19 not at home when authorities came knocking.
For heaven's sake, you've got it. You have to stay at home. If you're not where you're supposed to be, you are going to get door knocked and you will get fined.
Victoria recorded another 627 new cases today and 8 more deaths.
2 men in their 50s, 2 men in their 70s, 3 men in their 80s and 1 woman in her 70s.
4 are linked to our aged care crisis, and 928 active cases are now connected to these facilities.
We're all rolling with the punches. No one likes numbers to be increasing. To see it not turn the corner is absolutely a cause of frustration, not least because it's not just a number. These are people's lives.
349 Victorians are fighting coronavirus in hospital, including 36 patients in intensive care. A doctor in his 30s is among hundreds of healthcare workers to contract the virus. He's now fighting for life.
We know it's a mix of aged care workforce, doctors and nurses in our acute care settings. It's a huge concern to see healthcare workers developing illness.
The Premier and PM held crisis talks last night. A tougher lockdown expected within days.
We could not open up with these numbers. We could not open up even with significantly less than these numbers. It may well be the case, and the data may well bear this out, and the best advice may well come to me, that we need to take further steps, that the steps we've taken are not enough to pull this up. That's not to cause a sense of alarm. The data will tell us, the experts will tell us what, if any, next steps need to be, what the nature of those need to be, and indeed whether we need to take them.
The Premier reiterating nothing is off the table.
There are a whole range of potential next steps that will come at a very significant cost.
Jacqueline Felgate, 7 News.
A police investigation's underway into a shooting in Alkimos early this morning that's left a man in his 20s seriously injured in hospital. Ben Downey is outside the home where it occurred. Ben, what happened there this morning?
Yes, Amelia, what we know right now is that police were called to this Colosa Crescent address around 3:30 this morning, where they found paramedics treating that man in his 20s for a gunshot wound to the torso. Now, he was rushed to Royal Perth in a serious but stable condition where he remains. Now, witnesses here, they tell me they were woken by the man banging on their door and screaming for help, which is what prompted them to call 000. Now, police haven't made any arrests yet, but the investigation is still ongoing. So anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers. Amelia?
Ben, thank you. Western Australia's tug of war with South Australia over who should get the multi-billion-dollar maintenance contract for the country's fleet of Collins-class submarines is heating up. The state government says a major upgrade of the marine complex in Henderson means the Commonwealth now has no excuse not to choose WA. Here's Rob Scott.
Well, every day this week, the Premier has been out with his chequebook announcing projects across the state to help WA recover from COVID-19. Today, he was here in Henderson. The government will spend almost $88 million to upgrade the Australian Marine Complex. 600 jobs will be created as part of a major wharf extension, the design of a new finger wharf, road improvements and a new shipbuilding hall.
This wharf here will be doubled in length. It will have the capacity to berth one of the new future frigates and one of the current frigates, or 2 of the current frigates end to end. A massive increase in servicing support alongside as well.
The government says the upgrades will also strengthen WA's bid for the Commonwealth contract for full cycle docking of the Collins-class submarines, putting the state well ahead of arch rival South Australia.
There are no reasons now for the federal government not to recognise that this is the best location to do all maintenance of Collins-class submarines.
Close to $160 million will also be spent on port infrastructure upgrades in the Pilbara, Geraldton, Bunbury, Kwinana and Fremantle. The massive spend is all part of the $5.5 billion COVID recovery plan aimed at getting more people back to work and strengthening the economy.
A German tourist has survived an outback nightmare in WA's remote Kimberley. Scrollen Haas Krampling was hiking with friends at Dollarite Gorge on Saturday when she decided to swing from a vine. But when it snapped, she fell into the rocky gorge below. The 26-year-old said she thought she was going to die.
I just remember like kind of crashing down and like hitting the rocks with my ribs, and I don't even notice the pain right away. I just noticed that my hand was like kind of pushing here the whole time. I couldn't let go. Like even if I wanted, they tried to pull it away.
She's now recovering in hospital after suffering 3 broken ribs. In 7 News at 6, details on the mammoth 8-hour rescue mission. A man who admitted to fatally stabbing a social worker in the neck with a kitchen knife has been found not guilty of murder. Shannon Smith was acquitted of killing 50-year-old mother and social worker Jacqueline Francis in the Supreme Court today, ruled too mentally unwell to know what he was doing.
We just want everybody to know what a beautiful person Jackie was. She was a devoted mother, amazing cousin, always there ready to help everybody and give her loss to anybody who needed it.
The 38-year-old will instead be held in a mental health facility. Police have made a direct appeal to a wanted man on the run in Perth, telling him to turn himself in for the sake of his family. Joey Catanzaro has the details.
Police say Jared Adams robbed and set fire to this Hocking home during a northern suburbs crime spree on Monday night. But today, arson squad detectives say it's Mr Adams' family who want the young father to turn himself in. He's wanted for allegedly stealing a Hilux, which rolled on East Road. Police also believe Mr Adams threatened witnesses who chased the driver from the scene of the crash.
Come on, buddy, you got a hammer? Let's go.
He's also believed to be behind the robbery of this family home, which suspiciously caught fire. Mr Adams is suspected of stealing the family's Jeep Cherokee, which was later found dumped and on fire. Apparently, the crimes are out of character for Mr Adams.
Jared, we know you will be worried about your actions and missing your young family. Your friends and family are worried about you.
Mr Adams has now been on the run for 4 days.
He is believed to be travelling in a white Holden Captiva, likely in the northern suburbs of Perth.
The registration 1HAZ535. Police are concerned someone is helping Mr Adams evade capture, but in doing so, aren't providing him with the help he really needs.
If there is a friend of Mr Adams or anyone that's assisting Mr Adams, we would ask that if you can call us on 131 444.
The daughter of the couple who live here was supposed to get married in the backyard tomorrow. That can't happen. But we do have some good news to share at 6 o'clock.
Donald Trump has suggested postponing the 2020 presidential election, saying postal voting could lead to fraud and inaccurate results. Taking to Twitter, the president called for November's polls to be delayed, and as US Bureau Chief Ashley Mullaney reports from Washington, it's drawn widespread criticism.
Good afternoon. Well, the president has doubled down on calls to postpone the election, saying that mail-in ballots aren't safe enough or reliable enough. Despite having no authority to change the date, Donald Trump tweeted this morning raising that very question, saying with universal mail-in voting, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the US. Delay the election until people can properly, securely and safely vote. In a briefing at the White House this afternoon, the president said he wants instant results on election night and mail-in ballots could be left exposed to foreign interference.
This is easy. You can forge ballots. This is much easier for foreign countries.
The president can't delay the election without the approval of Congress, where Democrats have control of the House. The suggestion drew sharp criticism from Trump's predecessor today, Barack Obama, with these scathing words while eulogising civil rights leader, the late Congressman John Lewis.
But even as we sit here, there are those in power who are doing their darndest to discourage people from voting.
The idea was shot down by members of the president's own party too, who said even in world wars, the Civil War and depressions, Americans went to the ballot as planned, and the vote will go ahead on November 3rd. Donald Trump's political prospects have suffered a major blow in this health crisis, so too the American economy, which just suffered its worst 3-month collapse on record.
It's hoped a COVID-19 vaccine could be just months away, with the South Australian trial about to enter the next phase. Tim Hatfield has the details.
Well, this is being touted as a major step forward in the race towards finding a vaccine for COVID-19 after it cleared the first stage of human trials.
The focus to date has been on showing that the vaccine is safe, and so that we can make the trials much larger.
Professor Nikolai Petrovsky and his team at Flinders say early results have been promising.
Obviously, there have been no serious side effects whatsoever, and that's what we'd expect.
The second round of testing is expected to involve people aged over 65 who are at a greater risk. It's hoped residents in nursing homes in Victoria can take part.
To make sure that our vaccine is effective against COVID-19 in the elderly.
The project's being funded by the US government, with the professor hopeful Australia might chip in some support as trials progress. If the next successful, Phase 3 would see testing on 30,000 people worldwide.
We still have a way to go, but we're working with a number of global organisations who are experts in manufacturing vaccines.
Professor Petrovsky says he's hopeful the vaccine could be available early in the new year.
A Perth woman has been fined $8,000 after being caught trying to smuggle more than 7 cartons of cigarettes hidden in her clothing. The 56-year-old had flown in from Bali last July when she was stopped by Border Force officers. She then owned up to carrying almost 2,000 cigarettes to avoid paying duty. Her phone records show she was intending to sell them. Dire predictions for Australia's economy, that's coming up next, plus dramatic explosion. What sparked a deadly explosion that obliterated an eatery? And the moment a horse is saved from a fire-ravaged barn.
Out of options and out of time. Now, this mum has one last shot. Perth's new Miracle Heart Recharger, only on 7 News.
You have the spark, and I really want to make that a flame.
I might have kissed someone.
What?
Can I just have a minute, please?
Beg you, don't run away from me.
New Farmer Wants a Wife, Sunday on 7.
Up to 55% off Sealy, now at Domain. Yes, bigger the size, bigger the deal. Save up to 55% off quality Australian-made Sealy mattresses and ensembles. Plus, it's your last chance to buy on 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card valued at up to $500. Do not miss this opportunity to refresh your sleep with Sealy with up to 55% off. Bigger the size, bigger the deal on Australian-made Sealy mattresses and ensembles. Ends Sunday at Domain.
Think you can't afford a solid timber floor? Think again. Evergreen Flooring have solid black butt Mary and Jarrah, now $119.90 a square metre, fully installed. You can afford a solid timber floor. Evergreen Flooring, 83 Frobisher Street, Osborne Park, or evergreenflooring.com.au.
Pino Clean Simply Wipes are our new way to disinfect. They kill 99.9% of germs with a plant-based disinfectant active, and they're made with 100% biodegradable fibres. New Pino Clean Simply.
I think the garden and the park probably is one of the biggest features of the village.
Hello, how are you?
At night it lights up like a fairyland, and it's beautiful to be able to walk around and not leave the premises for at least 10 minutes.
Introducing the Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven. The full oven that can air fry 75% more than traditional air fryers. What's the secret? Our stainless airflow racks and 1500 watts of rapid air technology fries food with a whirlwind of superheated air for that great crispy taste without all the added fat and calories. Air fried chicken strips, wings and tasty sea salt curly fries. And all made with that amazing fried food taste without the guilt, and up to 70% less calories from fat compared to deep frying. And here's exciting news. The Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven is a chef-quality air fryer, rotisserie, and a food dehydrator all in one. It features a state-of-the-art touchscreen with 10 presets. With one touch, you can rotisserie, dehydrate, air fry, roast, bake, use it as a pizza oven, grill, toast, and reheat. And all accessories are dishwasher safe, so cleanup is a breeze. The Miracle Chef replaces over $1,500 in appliances. But you won't pay $1,500, not even $500. Call Global Shop Direct or go online now, and you can get the Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven for the low price on your screen. But this deal gets even better. Call now and get bonus number 1, the extra large rotating stainless mesh basket. Amazing for French fries and street nuts. Bonus number 2, our stainless rotisserie spit. Perfect for restaurant-style rotisserie chicken and bacon weaved stuffed turkey. Bonus number 3, we're also including 8 stainless skewers. Carve them table style or serve the whole skewer. Bonus number 4, we'll also include our entire Miracle Chef air fryer oven library. All 3 books included with your order today. And Miracle Chef comes with Global Shop Direct's 30-day money-back guarantee. You get everything you see here, all for this one incredible price. Don't miss out on this incredible TV offer. Order your Miracle Chef air fryer oven today.
You're watching 7's 4 p.m. news live from Perth. Right now in the city it is 18 degrees. The forecast is coming up soon. The Prime Minister isn't ruling out further restrictions to contain Victoria's escalating coronavirus outbreak. The crisis is set to have an even more devastating impact on the economy than was forecast just last week. Olivia Leeming reports from Canberra.
The Prime Minister held crisis talks with the Victorian Premier last night and again today as the state struggles to control its rising case numbers. Though holding off on announcing harsh new restrictions, Scott Morrison insists he's working closely with Daniel Andrews to determine further support to help the state, but denying there's pressure on Victoria to relinquish any of its powers to the Commonwealth.
Well, we're always ready to support them with all the requests they've made and to be making further offers, as we constantly do. But those sorts of things haven't been in contemplation. There's still a lot of work to do and we're not on top of it yet.
The economic outlook has already deteriorated since the government's budget update just last week. The head of Treasury warning the likely extension of Victoria's lockdown will further lower growth and increase unemployment. The Treasurer conceding the economic shock will be felt nationwide.
And Victoria is a quarter of the national economy, so the impact is very significant economically, and the impact is even broader than within the borders of Victoria. It's impacting on business and consumer confidence.
Australia's economic recovery hinges on how cases are managed. While further restrictions will come at a cost, so too will failing to contain the virus.
South Australia's rigid border controls with Victoria haven't prevented another stowaway. It comes as more nurses depart Adelaide and head straight onto Melbourne's dangerous front line.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Up to 50 South Australian nurses have answered the call, but are anxious about what confronts them.
We are all very nervous. We don't really know what the situation is over there, but we have a beautiful planning team over there as well that's working very, very hard to assist us.
Most of this first wave are from the RAH and are experts in delivery of aged care, infection control and logistics support. They'll be at the front line of the Victorian crisis for a fortnight before returning for the same period of self-quarantine.
They've put up their hand to go over to Victoria and do what they can, particularly in the aged care environment, at a time that the situation is changing really quite dramatically.
The South Australian Premier is angered by the latest border transgression. A 65-year-old woman who'd been in Victoria stowed away in a truck returning home. After being refused bail, she pleaded guilty in Mount Gambier court today. She was given leniency, a suspended sentence and no fine. And this afternoon, South Australia's Public Health Officer revealed we have another case. The state's COVID Transition Committee met again today, but as yet hasn't recommended any harsher restrictions.
A restaurant has exploded in Japan, killing one man and injuring at least 18 other people. This is what remains of the Fukushima eatery, where it's believed the eruption was triggered by a gas leak. Staff and customers at a nearby bank were also injured when the force of the explosion shattered windows. The restaurant had been undergoing renovations during a COVID-enforced closure. It was due to reopen today. Body cam footage has shown the moment police officers rushed to save a horse trapped in a burning barn. With the blaze fuelled by stacks of hay, the spooked animal is found hiding in a corner.
Come on, boys. Help us! Help us, pull! Come on!
After plenty of persuasion, the horse eventually darts out of the barn to safety. The officers relieved but suffering minor injuries. Closed for cleaning, how Sydney is trying to stop a second wave crashing into the city. That's ahead. Plus, tech giants Google and Facebook forced to the negotiating table. Find out why. And aged care horror, the shocking treatment of Melbourne nursing home residents revealed.
What's a bartender, a banker and a lifeguard got in common? One giant problem.
Everyone who comes on gets cooked.
On New The Chase, weekdays on 7.
Bedshed are taking 20 to 50% off everything. Create your ideal bedroom with furniture you love and a perfect mattress for less. Everything's on sale at Bedshed. No one's better in the bedroom.
What makes telethon speech and hearing so special? It's been a lifesaver for families for over 50 years. Specialists deliver our programs in person or through teletherapy. Don't risk your child falling behind. Call Telethon Speech and Hearing today.
Help celebrate Parry's 32nd birthday in style. New stock has arrived and everything is at special low prices. With free installation and free underlay, you can count on Parry's to have you covered. parryscarpets.com.au.
I've been thinking, change it up. No, stay the course. It's all about managing cash flow. Or is it investing, diversifying? Wait, why did I even get into this?
Andy? Let's work through this one step at a time.
If you need help working out your next step, search ANZ Business Planner.
When pain and fever symptoms strike, a kiss can make them feel better. But for effective relief through the night, there's Nurofen for children. Starts to reduce fever from 15 minutes, lasts for up to 8 hours, and is trusted by 9 out of 10 Australian parents.
Why do you come? Why do you come? The pleasure's all mine, never getting old. If you're looking for me, I'll be dancing in my own way.
So good to see you again, Harry.
You too, Granny.
I'm actually glad we split.
Really?
Yes. Whoever thought you could combine a supreme and pepperoni?
Nothing brings people together like a Domino's half and half. Bring it in.
So it's still anybody's game. There's the tap. Looks it out. Oh, sells the candy. Heads into it open. Goal and drops it. Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's the stuff nightmares are made of.
There's a rumour you may hear about a place that you can find where the heartbeat of the city is just the local state of mind. Because this isn't just a place you live. Becomes a part of who you are, the centre of your everything. Welcome home to Civic Heart. Luxurious South Perth apartments. Visit civicheart.com.au.
Google has accused the federal government of heavy-handed intervention over a proposed news media bargaining code. As Miley Hogan reports, it's alleged Google and Facebook have made billions using news content on their sites for free, and now it's time to pay up.
It could be just months before Google and Facebook have to start paying for Australian news content they currently take for free. The ACCC today released a draft code of conduct that the tech giants will have to follow. It means Google and Facebook will have to negotiate deals with news organisations in Australia and pay a fee to use their content.
Australia's online advertising market is worth more than $9 billion a year. And for every $100 spent on online advertising, $47 goes to Google, $24 to Facebook and $29 to the other participants.
If they refuse, they could be fined hundreds of millions of dollars.
Non-compliance with the code will attract significant penalties, which can include up to 10% of the Australian turnover of the digital platform.
Google is not happy, releasing a statement claiming the government's heavy-handed intervention threatens to impede Australia's digital economy. The ACCC is now receiving feedback until the end of August. Legislation could be introduced shortly after that, with payments flowing to news companies within 6 months of the code becoming law.
New South Wales has recorded its worst 24 hours of COVID results since mid-April. Despite the fresh outbreak, a mosque was allowed 400 worshippers through its doors this morning. Chris Reason is following the story.
Good afternoon to you. Concern and criticism that the Auburn Mosque here was given this special exemption to allow 400 worshippers in today, but organisers insist that they have done absolutely everything they could to make this place as COVID safe as possible. It was the Health Minister, Brad Hazzard, who gave this special exemption, waiving the current 100-person limit of the occasion of Eid, one of Islam's holiest days, of course. Now, organisers say they've implemented a range of special provisions, all of them in evidence today, spreading the worshippers over 4 rooms, keeping queues socially distant, handing out masks and making people sign in and use hand sanitisers. Now, all of this on a day that New South Wales Health released new statistics showing 21 new cases, a significant jump, with real fears that New South Wales is on the brink of a major escalation, but the government is confident it is still under control.
In terms of the cases that we have at the moment, it's manageable.
Now, the list of businesses and venues impacted continues to grow. Also today, a last-minute rush as people flock to the airport to get to Queensland before tonight's border closures. They've added an extra 17 flights to cope with the demand. We're sure Premier Anna Palaszczuk will be pleased to hear that.
Victoria's aged care crisis has been struck with more tragedy, with 4 more deaths recorded overnight. As Chanel Vella reports, families of loved ones in care have spoken about the horrors inside homes.
Well, families of aged care residents have been furious about how their loved ones are being treated inside nursing homes during the pandemic. But today we're hearing from families who say they raised concerns about potential outbreaks months ago. St Basil's Aged Care in Fawkner has been linked to more than 100 positive cases. Their chairman has today said the federal government plan to move out regular staff to get their staff in caused residents to be neglected. Meanwhile, at Epping Gardens Aged Care home, there were more distressing scenes today.
All of her belongings are in here. I just want to get them out.
Connie Tropia's father, Sam, was a resident at Epping Gardens from January last year.
We knew there was going to be an outbreak. With what we've seen, we knew there was going to be an outbreak. It was just a matter of when.
She says she made numerous complaints about how he and other residents were being treated.
I was coming out of the elevator and one of the ladies was so distraught. She was on oxygen. She needed her oxygen change, but there was no staff to do it.
Mr Tropia passed away in June from an illness unrelated to COVID-19. But to get him the care he needed, Connie was forced to move into the home with her sister.
We fought and fought to get into the facility. What we're seeing in the facility was horrific. There was no staff. There was no one to attend my dad's needs. My sister and I, the last 2 weeks of my dad's life, we became his carers.
COVID-19 has continued to spread through healthcare workers. The Royal Melbourne says some of their staff have been impacted, but their ICU ward is still operating as usual. St Vincent's Hospital has also confirmed they have a number of positive cases. They will now test all staff and contact tracing has begun.
The World Health Organization has pointed the finger at young people letting their guard down, leading to the spike in coronavirus cases being seen across the world.
Young people are not invincible. Young people can be infected. Young people can die.
The Northern Hemisphere summer is fueling a new surge in cases across the USA and Europe. We have an update for you now on the near-naked man caught diving into a tank at Sydney Zoo earlier this week. Police have now charged him with trespassing. It's believed he ignored numerous warning signs and entered the aquarium on Monday afternoon. He'll face court in September. Now with a look at today's money markets, here's West Business Finance reporter Mei-Lin Chu.
Thanks, Amelia. It was a gloomy end to the trading week. The ASX 200 has dropped to a 3-week low, falling 123 points today. That's after the US markets were rattled overnight by record contraction in the world's biggest economy. Financial services giant AMP dived 13% after warning its first half profit was set to halve. It's blamed a predicted increase in bad loans and the pandemic. Going the other way was Super Retail, whose chains include Rebel Sport and Supercheap Auto, and that's off the back of consumers spending on gym equipment and car projects during lockdown. Origin Energy slipped 5% as coronavirus disruptions hit demand and hurt prices. Rio Tinto and Fortescue Metals followed BHP, losing up to 3%. But it was good news for WA-based mining contractor NRW Holdings. It surged 8% after scoring work for the Bunbury Outer Ring Road project. The US economy has dropped 32.9% in its worst GDP report ever, but that was good news for the Australian dollar, which was the real winner of the day. The local currency broke the US 72 cents level for the first time in 15 months this morning. And that's finance.
You're watching Seven's Afternoon News live from Perth. Coming up, incredible pictures as a piece of history from last millennium is open to the public for the first time ever. Plus, the robots cleaning up, keeping us COVID safe. And Takeoff, the latest mission to Mars on the hunt for Martians.
Win a year on the West. We'll drop $20,000 into your bank account. Plus, get your groceries, gas and petrol covered. And it's not just the essentials, we'll also take care of the fun stuff. Plus, there's 15 Celtic Star cash cards to win every day. Get the code from the West Australian for your chance to win a year on the West.
The most stunning tree change.
How is it that you came about renovating a church?
Transforming an amazing piece of history into an awesome home. The inside look.
This is next level.
Then meet the most incredible best mates. But does Benji realise he's a goat? On New Better Homes, tonight at 7 on 7.
Helping small clubs build great communities.
To us, that's big.
Helping children reach their full potential.
That's big to me.
Practical training that can lead to a real job. Local beef for local mines. To me, that's big.
An artificial reef that supports local tourism. To me, that's big.
We build great communities in regional WA.
And to have support to keep them great.
For a long time to come.
To us, that's big too.
It's never been more important to make every dollar count. That's why millions of Aussies use Finder to help them save money.
Find a better deal for you. Try finder.com.au.
This is an actual event. It could happen in any workplace. Stephen Broun lawyers can tell you how much your claim is really worth. It's no win, no fee. Call 13-HURT.
At Spotlight Super Sale, save 30 to 50% off kitchen and dining, 30% off all picture frames. VIPs save 30% off artificial potted plants. So decorate it, bake it, and style it for less. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Gentlemen, look at yourself. Now look at me. Now look at yourself. Down there. You're probably wearing cotton underwear. I'm wearing Step 1s. They're made from bamboo. They breathe. Are you happy? I'm happy. Go get them at step1.life. The best thing to happen to privates since Ryan.
Muscle and osteo pain can really tie you down. That pain is caused by inflammation. Nurofen helps reduce inflammation and relieve osteo and muscle pain for up to 8 hours. Break free with Nurofen.
Think you can't afford a solid timber floor? Think again. Evergreen Flooring have solid black butt Marri and Jarrah, now $119.90 a square metre, fully installed. You can afford a solid timber floor. Evergreen Flooring, 83 Frobisher Street, Osborne Park, or evergreenflooring.com.au.
What are you doing this weekend? Just the usual.
Dometic CFF 45 fridge freezer, save $120. 30% off all footwear by Crocs and Tether. Play more, pay less.
How well your kitchen performs depends what's under the hood. Unlike range hoods with mesh filters, Whisper's S-Flow baffle filtration system means grease doesn't clog, maximising extraction, minimising noise. Proudly Australian Whisper. Available in-store and online.
Have you got what it takes?
Rob Lowe and Liv Tyler in the action-packed new 911 Lone Star, Monday on 7.
One business booming during the pandemic is cleaning, with many Australian venues opting for so-called deep cleaning, even if they're not affected. Cameron Price reports owners are aiming to assure customers that the buildings at least are squeaky clean.
Good afternoon. 3.5 months after shutting its doors, the restaurant here at Bondi Icebergs will tomorrow reopen with a secret weapon in the fight against COVID-19. Often referred to as deep cleaning, it's designed not just to remove any trace of the virus from the surface of a venue, but actually protect it for up to 28 days.
Any area that's had this application, it actually means that virus will be killed instantly.
For Icebergs, the famous beachside eatery has till now avoided any contact with the virus and wants to keep it that way.
Coming back now, it's a pretty incredible feeling. And the warmth from everyone, customers wanting to come back, regulars, suppliers, all anyone wants is for us to be open and everyone to be able to be in here and celebrate again.
Dozens of restaurants across the city now banding together, vowing to have this type of clean every month to give diners some peace of mind.
NASA's latest and most ambitious hunt for life on Mars blasted off from Florida's Cape Canaveral overnight. The 6-wheeler Rover, known as Perseverance, is expected to reach the red planet early next year, tasked with searching for traces of Martian life.
Lift off on a mission to Mars, unlike any other before it.
The perseverance of humanity launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the red planet.
A $2.4 billion trek to search the corners of the red planet for proof of alien life.
It's an amazing launch, very successful. It went right on time.
When Perseverance touches down in February, it's here in this 3.5 billion-year-old former lake where the craft will spend 2 years. Drilling the crater for rock and soil samples to test specifically for micro traces of past life.
But even beyond that, we're going to a very specific location that we believe could have at one time hosted life.
Equipped with 20 cameras, a lightweight radio-controlled drone and even microphones, the rover will beam the sights and sounds of Mars directly back to Earth for analysis.
And we have good indication of Atlas Centaur separation.
The most technical Mars mission yet, even if NASA was forced to downplay early communication troubles, losing contact with the Atlas V rocket moments after launch.
I know there's maybe some folks in the media that would call it an issue, but really it's something that we've seen before with other Mars missions, as a matter of fact.
The samples won't return to Earth for another 3 decades, for now at least, leaving open that burning question, are we really alone? In the United States, David Woywood, 7 News.
It's been a very special day for a police officer in Mount Barker as the Aboriginal flag was raised at the local station. Noel Brunning joins us from the GWN 7 News Desk with the details.
Aboriginal officer Kai Panton raised the flag. It's part of the police force's reconciliation plan. And soon every station will have an Aboriginal flag. Kai says it's a huge sign of respect for Indigenous people. 9-year-old Bunbury girl Ayla De Castro is being hailed a local hero after writing and illustrating a book about homelessness and donating all of the profits to the Salvation Army. And Bidjadanga swimming pool manager Bernie Egan has had a big 2020. Forced to stay with the community when the lockdown started, she made the best of things by volunteering to organise a holiday program for 500 kids.
Locals and tourists in Greece will soon get the chance to explore an ancient shipwreck. Discoveries like these are usually reserved for scientists over fears the artefacts will be taken or broken by the public. But new technology means authorities will be immediately alerted if the wreck is in danger of being disturbed. The wooden vessel sank in the late 5th century BC while transporting wine. The Eagles have ruled out an All-Australian star for tomorrow's match. Ryan Daniels joins me next with the latest in sport.
A Friday night spectacular that'll light up the Festival of Footy.
What a mark!
Can the Bombers fly up the ladder?
What about that for a goal?
Or will they be mauled by the hungry Lions?
Goodness gracious me.
But tomorrow,
oh wow,
the massive Top 8 showdown is here.
Unbelievable!
Eagles versus Cats.
That looks pretty damn good, doesn't it?
The biggest festival of footy ever continues tonight on 7 Mate.
At Apia, we're all about possibilities and making sure you're ready for them. And while not everything is possible at the moment, there are some things you can do. With Apia's comprehensive insurance, you can double up and save. Simply buy new eligible home and car insurance together before July 31 and save 20% off the second policy. Our dedicated specialists are ready to help. Call 13 50 50 or visit apia.com.au.
The Green is lifestyle living for over 55s with a difference. You own your home and the land and you pay no exit fees. Enjoy The Green with its extensive amenities, 2 community centres, gym, lap pool, bowling green and of course golf. Build the home you want and right now you could qualify for 90 grand in grants and incentives. Get your retirement on course and visit fairwaythegreen.com.au.
The Green, a Fairway village where you own it.
Get vegged. Super tasty vegetarian meal solutions for everyone to enjoy. Packed full of flavour, loaded with veggies and free from artificial colours, flavours and preservatives. Get healthy, get vegged.
Sleep soundly with Furniture Bazaar's bedding sale. Take 50% off the Peninsula Bedroom Suite now $8.49 or the Casey Bedroom Suite at 50% off only $14.99 and get 24 months interest-free store-wide.
Furniture Bazaar.
At Spotlight Super Sale, save 40% off all day-night roller blinds, 40% off all ready-to-hang iron curtains, 40% off a huge range of fabrics by the metre, so you can open it, roll it and sew it for less. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it. Rain, hail and save at Chemist Warehouse. Our amazing August catalogue sale on now. Dimetap Kids Cough and Cold or colour-free 200ml, $10.99. Wagner Vitamin D3 1000 IU 250 capsules, 2 for $18.99. Any Cetaphil favourites from $11.99. And INC 100% Dynamic Whey Chocolate or Vanilla 2 kilogram, $32.49. For the biggest range at the lowest price, shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
Francis bought a house in Tuscany.
Sandra Oh and Diane Lane in the feel-good movie Under the Tuscan Sun, tonight on 7.
You're watching 7's Afternoon News. Ryan Daniels joins us now. Ryan, the Eagles will be without Jeremy McGovern again.
They will, Millie. It's thumbs down for the All-Australian defender because of his thumb. Jack Redden will also miss the clash with Geelong, but the Eagles will unveil their first debutant for the season. Defender Harry Edwards was told the good news at training this morning before being mobbed by his teammates.
Really exciting for Harry. He's a key position defender and local product. He's from Swan Districts and yeah, he's ready to go. I reckon he might have grown around 20 centimetres in the last 2 years. So I think he came to the club as a utility, and he's grown. I think he's around 200 centimetres tall now.
The Dockers will take on the Pies on Sunday. Midfielder Connor Blakely will make his first appearance of the season. A stunning second quarter blitz has Hawthorn eyeing off an upset against Carlton at Optus Stadium. The Hawks trailed by 19 points at the first break before slamming on 6 unanswered goals to lead by 13 points at half-time.
The AFL breaking new ground with Friday night footy in the sunshine, but it was a familiar start for the struggling Hawks.
Frost, did he take them on? He did.
The Blues red hot in Perth. 11 first-quarter disposals for Patrick Cripps, 5 straight goals to Carlton, and the warning signs were there for Alistair Clarkson.
Oh, Newnes has kicked the goal! Jack the goal sneak!
It took one of the Hawks' youngest to get them going.
And that's the perfect shape to brighten up Hawthorn's day, and they needed it!
Back from a broken jaw, Luke Bruce narrowed the margin to 3 goals at the first break. That was quickly back out to 4 when Levi Casbolt slotted his second, but there's some class left in these ageing Hawks.
He has got the distance, and he has got the accuracy as well. And while this may be a mid-season game, it's a huge one as far as Alistair Clarkson and Hawthorn are concerned in 2020.
And suddenly it was Hawthorn's midfield dominating.
And Isaac Smith can kick his second to the corner. And the Hawks have hit the front.
Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
Ash Barty has copped plenty of criticism from American fans for pulling out of the US Open this week due to COVID concerns. The world number one made a surprise visit to a group of lucky school students in Cairns today and took the chance to respond.
It was a decision that I made for myself, my team and my family, and I think everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Barty will wait until the last minute to make a call on defending her French Open title in September. Ash is hoping she doesn't cop another whack from fans if she does pull out. Jason Day has made a drastic change to snap out of his slump. The 32-year-old has ended his 20-year partnership with mentor, coach and caddy Colin Swatton. Day started the World Golf Championships event in Memphis with a 2-under-68 this morning. Brooks Koepka's tuning up for his shot at a PGA Championship three-peat next week, in the lead at 8 under after career low 62. After 141 days in shutdown, the NBA season resumed in its biosecure Orlando bubble this morning. There was a united stand for Black Lives Matter, social justice messages replacing names on jerseys, and a virtual crowd watching the Utah Jazz and New Orleans Pelicans. Aussie veteran Joe Ingles had 13 points to match rookie beast Zion Williamson, and the Jazz claimed a 106-104 win. With plenty more from Adam Simpson, and we'll hear from Justin Longmire at 6 o'clock, Billy.
Beautiful. See you then. Thanks, Ryan. Chilly nights ahead. I'll have your full weather forecast after the break.
When Perth wakes up, there's only one place to see breaking news now.
Police have just released new details.
Sunrise, live and local news, sport and weather every 30 minutes. Our team of reporters brings you news from across WA.
As it happens.
Sunrise, Perth's #1.
Her son's death is his second chance.
We have to protect him from the truth.
I know that obituaries have been prepared for my husband.
You're lucky you saved my life. Find better ways to use it than being a prick.
But the secret...
Were you in on it?
No.
Her son was hiding.
I will never forgive you if you lie to me.
Leave me to handle it.
Will start an unstoppable chain of events.
Can you comment?
The incredible new Australian drama, Between Two Worlds, Sunday, 8:30 on 7.
For great deals on LG, Appliances Online has you covered. Just $875 for this LG 8kg front load washer with AI direct drive motor. Or this LG 8kg heat pump dryer with a 9-star energy rating, just $1,648. Or this LG 570 litre French door fridge with ice and water, just $2,851. For a huge range of LG and more with free next day delivery, visit appliancesonline.com.au now.
The stylish Haval H2, a globally engineered, European-designed and feature-packed SUV. From just $22,990 drive away. Haval H2 Auto. New car thinking.
Cookie people, cream people, crumbs people, clean people, twist people, lick people, dunk people, munch people. It's on the play, people. If you twist, lick, dunk, then you're my people. We are Oreo people.
Cha Cha Restaurant and Bar, Fremantle's award-winning restaurant. Lunch and dinner daily from 11 a.m. New bar, lounge and function room with amazing views. Cha Cha Restaurant and Bar, Fishing Boat Harbour, Fremantle.
Take an inspirational journey to Perth's trusted mirror specialist, Skurs. Over 150 styles and sizes. Designer luxury, exceptional quality at wholesale prices. Skurs, a world of mirrors. Visit us today.
Sunboost is continuing to support Australian households with affordable solar by extending the end of financial year discount.
Install a 6.6 kilowatt system, just $31.91. Extended to Friday, July 31 only. Call 1300 Sunboost.
You can't see an electrical fault, but you can feel one. Report all shocks and tingles immediately to Western Power on 13 13 51, authorised by the State Government, Perth.
What's a bartender, a banker and a lifeguard got in common? One giant problem.
Everyone who comes on gets cooked.
But this might just be the right combination.
Stop the clock. A pass.
To leave Goliath to pull out his hair.
Stop the clock.
On You The Chase. Weekdays at 5 on 7.
This weather report brought to you by Bridgestone Select for tyres and car servicing.
Good afternoon, it's Savannah here with a check of your Friday freeways, and they are pretty stacked northbound Crevett Avenue to Canning Highway. It's on and off from the Narrows Bridge up to Reed Highway, then slow Shenton Avenue. Southbound queuing Ocean Reef Road to Whitfords Avenue, through the city to Mill Point Road, and once more Roe Highway to Anketel Road. RAC Insurance have been awarded the Mozo's People's Choice 2020 winner for the excellent car insurance claims experience. Get a quote at rac.com.au for traffic on Monday.
Now, Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Checking the weather now, and there was the odd shower around sunrise, but it cleared to a mostly sunny day. 20 degrees was the top, but we have some cold days and nights ahead. Looking at the national forecast, morning frost and fog in Canberra, a sunny day in Sydney, 19, a few clouds around in Brisbane, and sunshine and 17 in Melbourne. Back to Perth, and it's a mostly sunny Saturday, warming up to 19 after a chilly overnight low of just 7. Showers for Sunday, also 19, and the wet weather will stick around into the working week. Just 16 on Monday, 18 Tuesday, clearing Wednesday, a few clouds around on Thursday, 18 the top, and another cold night dipping to just 7 degrees before reaching 19 on Friday. I'll see you with Rick and Ryan for 7 News at 6. Stay with us for the Chase Australia.
I did come here, it's fine.